Hi, this is Sheila Bicknell, BlueWater Oracle. How are you doing? I am doing a video today about the heart, about love and what the heart knows. So yesterday we had Valentine's Day, and that's a day that for some people is amazing, it's awesome, it's fun, it's super full of love and a heart and roses and all of that. And for other people, it's not quite so much fun, or they don't like the commercialism of it, which I completely understand. One thing about February is that it also brings up that heart energy that is part of us, that is within us. But what does that actually mean? What does it mean for each of us? So I thought I would chat today a little bit about what that might mean and what we can pull some cards around for a layout that I had prepared for February. So I've got two cameras going, trying to see what it's like with two different cameras on the go. So if I look like I'm looking at two different places, that's why, because I'm experimenting as I play, as I do. So I'm happy that you're here, happy that you're able to come in and chat with me. So in case you don't know me, my name is Sheila Bicknell. I am BlueWater Oracle, and I am based just outside of Montreal in Quebec, Canada. So salut, bonjour, j'espère que tout va bien chez vous. Yes, I can do readings in French. Oui, je peux faire des lectures et des consultations intuitives en français en plus qu'en anglais. Yes, I can do readings in French and consultations in English as well, of course, because I'm speaking English. I'm just going to check this. I am just going to push this over because I realize I've got lots of papers around. So sometimes, yeah, there are days where you just don't get to the paperwork and it will get pushed to another day. And that's where I've been a little bit recently. But I wanted to do this because that heart energy, that love energy, you know, we talk about it maybe that one day a year, but it's important that we talk about it all the time. It's important that we look at it for ourselves all the time because it's such a vital and important part of us. So some of you may know that I have my own membership group, and it's called the Oracle Cove, and it runs based on a Facebook group. And then we do card readings for members. We also I pull and channel a reading every Monday. So I pull a card and then write a reading about whatever wants to come up. So the cards and the readings have their own plan. Sometimes they go from week to week and they go in a series, and other times it's completely different. So this week it really did touch on the love aspect, the heart aspect. It touched on what is in people's energy this week around the sort of Valentine's mission, but also around that there's a lot about bringing in love and heart energy, and what does that mean and how does it relate to me? So I'm going to read you a little bit of it. I won't read you the whole thing, but I'll read you a little bit. So this is a reading that I've given to my members. And then today, this evening, Tuesday evening, we will go into a live session where we'll go a little bit deeper. We'll pull some more cards and see what else wants to come up. So it's a good fun play in that way. And exploration, because sometimes we need to explore things. Humans, we don't always get it. Point one, day one, the first time we hear something. Does that sound familiar? Sometimes we have to hear it again and again, or we have to work through it. So it depends on your strategies, it depends on your methods, depending on, you know, what's going on. So it says, it's talking about love and self-love, love of self being really important for this week. So this is the Oracle card reading for my Oracle Cove group that I channel intuitively. So loving self is not a precursor to loving another. Interesting to hear some say that one cannot love another until one loves oneself. Thankfully, the perspective of this reading is that yes, you can indeed love another, even if your self-love scale does not ring high, so it's on the lower side. This is part of the deep and profound love that exists within all of us and within the world and universe. If it depends on the one individual to be successful, quote unquote, with it for themselves before they could show it or feel it to another, the world might have been in for a long wait. Some of you would say it's already been in for a long wait. The true love is always in existence and therefore can always be accessed. The more, the better. So some of you may agree with it, some of you may not, but I thought it was a really interesting perspective. So that we don't have to be super high on the self-love scale in order to love another. And I know a lot of people who have great love for other people, but when it thinks about love for self, how that relates, how that cares for, how that speaks, perhaps maybe they don't feel so high, or maybe they're full of judgment or other issues. And this reading goes on to talk about a whole bunch of other things in that, but I just wanted to read that one part. So let me put this aside. So then, as I mentioned, I created a layout and an offer for February. So I have my regular card readings and consultations that I do. Some people I work with weekly, some people I do once in a while, where we do an intuitive reading with the cards and see what wants to come up. So this is a special for February, and it's all about your heart speaking. So take a moment and think, have you connected with your heart? Have you used that heart energy? Do you know what it feels like to feel that deep and profound love coming from your heart for you? Have you played with that? Does it make sense to you? Is it a big question mark? These are all things to explore. So it says your heart is a powerful force. It connects with your soul as much as your body. There are many beautiful ways to listen to and work with your heart energy. So much wisdom there. And the vibration, dancing to its own rhythm, to be sure. A song you created a long time ago. So by renewing your connection with your heart center, with your powerful, wonderful heart, it brings up things for you. So what's the layout here? It's called Your Heart Knows. This is the layout that I created. It's a five-point layout. Could be 5 cards, could be multiple cards for each point, depending on what a person needs, depending on their own reading. But here we're going to go through it. So we're going to pull cards. I'm going to do a general read for this because I think it's really important. I think it's really valuable. So hopefully it brings something up for you to be reflecting on, to be looking at for yourself. So the first point is increasing your heart connection. So sort of what do you need to know about that? What card could come up? What message could come up to help you with that? Then about love in your life. About healing for you, because often there's healing involved in these things, in these different points. About your relationships. And then the last of the 5 points, what your heart needs you to know. So your heart will be expressing to you the whole way through, but then specifically, what does it really need you to know? So let's get going. Let's start on this. All right, so I hope you're along for the ride. I'm going to put this here so that I can see, remind myself of the different points. Actually, I'm going to put it down here on my keyboard because I don't need my keyboard. All right, so take a nice deep breath wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Connect with your body, connect with your spirit, connect with your heart. Invite in that connection. Invite in that moment to really feel yourself, all of you, all that interconnection together. Okay? So the first position, increasing your heart connection. So what you can't see, and if it's your first time watching me, thank you, hello, hope you're doing well, is on my desk. I've got 5 different Oracle card decks, and I have one of my main tarot decks that I use, and I use them as oracles. So that means I'm going to pull different cards intuitively for each position, depending on which ones want to come up. And I would do the same thing if I was doing this specifically for you. Might be 1 card, might be multiple cards, depends on what wants to come up in the reading. So this is a general reading. So you're going to take and feel whatever feels relevant and important to you. If it doesn't make sense, if it doesn't connect with you, then it's not for you. No worries. But there may be something else that will come up. There may be another part of it that's going to really touch base with you and is going to bring you your own intuitive insight through it, which is so valuable. So, increasing your heart connection. So let me look at my cards and see who wants to play first. Increasing your heart connection. Maybe that one, definitely this one. So let's try this one first. So this is the Gateway Oracle cards. These are decks I use all the time with my clients and for myself, of course. Gateway Oracle cards by Denise Lynn. So you're taking a nice deep breath, breathing in, connecting, increasing your heart connection. What do we need to know? What is your heart telling you about increasing your heart connection? And because this is a general reading, it will apply in different ways. It's not going to be as specific as if I was reading directly into you in your life, through your doorways, connecting with your higher self and your spirit team. But it's going to do all that, but from a general way. So sometimes it's a bit more subtle. It's a little bit more bringing you towards something rather than giving you the exact point. So we'll see. Let's see. And you can let me know. All right. Okay. Yeah, let's go with that one. So we're going to go with this one first, but I'm actually going to pull a second card already because another deck is asking to be pulled on this. This is the Native Spirit Oracle cards, also by Denise Lynn. Okay, so let's go. Increasing your heart connection. And remember that part of doing card readings in the way that I do them intuitively is that they can also invite in shifts. They can invite in awareness. They can invite in changes so that it isn't only the knowledge that comes through, but it's actually the energy that comes through that can have an impact on your body, your system, how you're working, and the things that you want to be improving and changing and inviting in and your steps forward. So increasing your heart connection, increasing your heart connection. First card, simplifying your life. Ha! I love it. So a lot of people that I know are talking about clutter clearing this month. The author actually of this deck has a clutter clearing course that's just been launched. And a couple of my other colleagues, Monica and Kelly, are also doing clutter clearing stuff. So there's a lot of energy around this. It's simplifying. So let me show it over here too, in case you can't see it because it's a different camera. All right, simplifying your life. And the affirmation is, I cherish the simple pleasures of life. So here we're looking at it from increasing the heart connection. So sometimes we make it way more complicated. We make it that it has to involve technology and it has to have tons of meditation and hours of journaling and intense processes that bring the heart into connection with you. Maybe you do need that. Maybe that's important for you, and maybe that's part of your processes and your steps. But it could also be just to simplify and just to be, all right, this is my heart. What is this part of me that recognizes the world through love and compassion? It doesn't mean that it's always easy. It doesn't mean that it's always without challenges. And it doesn't mean that we all see things the same way and that all species see things the same way, because for sure that is not the case. We each have our own perspectives. But when we come at it from a human perspective, thinking, all right, I already have this heart center that resonates with compassion, resonates with love, with kindness, and just the acknowledgement that we are all interconnected through this type of energy simplifies something. And then whatever processes you're doing are building upon that or giving more upon that. Does that make sense? Now, the other part of this card, as I mentioned initially, is the clutter clearing. See, let me put it up to this camera. See, she's really taking care of clutter stuff. So this could be psychological, it could be emotional clutter, it could also be physical clutter. So give yourself a few moments to really acknowledge what is your priority when it comes to clutter clearing and simplifying in that way. Is it physical? And then break it down further. Is it your whole house? Oof, oh my goodness, that might feel like, oh, that's a lot to deal with. So what would be one room, one space that's the most important to work on? Okay, as you can see, for me, it's probably my home office. But we're all human, right? The joys of experiencing this stuff, the wounded healer kind of thing. I get it, I understand. So is this card for me? Yeah, for sure. Is it for you? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not living in your shoes. I'm not living in your space. But if it does resonate, then think of it as we're trying to, this position of this reading, of this layout, is increasing your heart connection. So simplifying your life in all different ways increases that. Why? Less noise, less fog, less mud, less judgment, less self-criticism, less stuff that you don't love, you don't need, you don't feel adds to your life. Super interesting. Okay. First card. Second card from the native spirit is we get offerings. Oh, we bring in Stonehenge energy. You show it over here with the beautiful sun, the light, the rainbow. Stonehenge energies. Offerings. What do you offer to the world? You offer things every single day in all different ways. whether you're aware of it or not, whether you believe it or not. You do. It could be as simple as a smile to somebody at a store or at a gas station. It could be planting a tree that is going to bring forward to generations, future generations. It could be of service in your work. Maybe you provide a skill set that is really important to the company you work for or to people around you. Maybe you make food for your loved ones, and that's highly valuable. Oh my gosh, I know. Woo, super valuable when people make me food. Happy, 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 right? Happy camper. Okay, so maybe that applies to you. What do you offer to the world? Allow yourself to know it. Allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to be a part of that. And then what are you also giving in offering in thanks? So this is the position of improving, increasing your heart connection. So recognizing your own offerings, but also recognizing that there's something really old and sacred about this heart center. So good quality sacredness. It's been around for a long time. It's been developing for a long time. It has connections that we see and we don't see. So in this offerings, you may also want to be offering something to the heart so that you work well together. Maybe that's where the meditation comes in, or the journaling, or going for a walk. Maybe it's giving yourself really good meals that feel good, that nourish from the inside out. There can be all different ways, okay? Your offerings. So acknowledging the sacredness. You are sacred. Your heart is sacred. Acknowledging that and allowing that to come forward in your daily living, because it is increasing your heart connection. Right? What else do you get with this card? What else comes up? We have the blessings. Okay. So sometimes as I'm about to put a card away, it goes, oh, look at it again. Look at it again. We get the blessings. So in my Earth Magic Oracle cards by Stephen Farmer, the rainbow is the blessings card. So it translates beautifully into this message. Count your blessings. Gratitude. You want to increase that heart connection. Gratitude for the things that are present in your life, the things that are important, even if they don't seem important. The technology, the smartphones, the computers, the desk, the cup of tea. Oh, so valuable, so important to me. What are your blessings? What are you grateful for? Acknowledge them, allow them, welcome them in, and let the heart expand and really show you this is what it feels like to feel the gratitude, to feel those blessings. I love that for the first position. Let me remind myself of the second card, about love in your life. So we've already been really chatting about that, but this wants to go deeper. It wants to look at it from a different perspective. So about love in your life. Next card, next position. So we're going to go here. Just going to adjust my seat a little bit, and I'm going to take a sip of tea. Cheers. Cheers. Yes, this is a one-take live video. So if there's errors, they just stay in. If there's clutter around, it stays there because it's all part of the journey. And I'm as much showing you my journey as I am bringing into your journey. Hope that's good with you. If not, you've already turned this off, and that's okay too. That's okay too. All right, so we're going to the Earth Magic Oracle cards. So about love in your life, or message about love from your heart. Your heart knows. This is, as I said, Earth Magic Oracle cards by Stephen Farmer. Here we go. We'll see if another card wants to come up, but for now there's just one. Fairies, Earth Magic. Interesting, eh? So this is the title card for this deck, the Earth Magic Oracle cards. It's a title card, Earth Magic, but it comes through the fairies. And she's really, really crystalline. She's really beautiful in the crystal light in the forest on top of a gorgeous flower. So there's a lot of very mystical, magical energy that comes, but it is in balance with the earth energies, with the heart, with earth, with magic, with fairies, but also we're talking about the heart. So what do you need to know about love? What is your heart telling you about love in your life? And it's bringing up, it's bringing up earth magic. It's bringing up the fairies. So believing in magic, believing in things that you cannot see. So at times you're going to need to remind yourself of this. At times you're going to need to remind yourself that love is a present. It exists. It exists within you. It exists around you. It exists in the world. It exists in magical ways that you can see and not see. Bit of a leap of faith there about love, especially for anybody who is struggling, who is finding that essence of love, that what is love just feels a bit wonky. It doesn't maybe feel as easy as you want it to feel, or you're not really sure what does it mean. Maybe you feel love for others, but when you look at the bigger expanse of it or feel it for yourself, something feels off. So we welcome in the earth magic energy, this manifesting energy through the fairies, but also this deep connection with the earth world. And I was just thinking about this last night, about something I'm working on for myself. And it was about that balance between, spiritual life, higher self life, and earthly living, our earth self. Because there is that balance. It has to be in balance because we're here. We're living an earthly life. So even if we're the most light-filled, most spiritual person, we're still here on earth. We have a heart that's beating. We have lungs that are breathing. We have blood flowing. We have skin that feels. We have eyes that see. So there's a lot of different components in there. Okay? So, earth magic. When you think about love, you've got to bring in that earthy energy, the balance with the earth. But you can also look at, what do I want to be manifesting about love? What do you want and desire love to feel like for you? I'm just going to take a little something off my screen there. What do you want it to feel like? What does love feel like for you? Maybe you have an image of it. Maybe you have an essence. Maybe you have a feeling of it. So what do you want it to feel like? Start with that vision of it and then allow it to come to you and be built from there. I like it. Next point about healing for you. Oh, healing energies. So this is your heart knows. This is your heart speaking to you. So remember in our previous point with the earth magic, this is the heart saying, hey, remember that we have this earth connection. Remember we have this connection with manifesting and energies and seen and unseen. Magical, mystical. We are connected to this. When it comes to love, it is all interconnected. So that's a message from your heart. And now we've got your heart knows telling you, asking you, bringing in info about healing for you. And the deck I'm getting drawn to is a tarot deck that I use the most often, which is the Gilded Tarot. It's by Ciro Marchetti. Most of these cards are, the Oracle cards are published by Hay House. This one's published by Llewellyn, as far as I know. Okay. So, your heart knows about healing for you. What's the message? Healing for you. Okay. There we go, right at the top. Is it the top one? No, it's the one underside. Yes. So I intuitively pick, and I've learned to sort of feel which card wants to come out and how. And I often get an itchy nose when I'm reading. Lots of energy. Okay, so I think this is the first of two, but I'm just going to pull this one first. So about healing for you. So we get the Four of Pentacles. I'll show it over here, and I'll show it to the other camera in case I use that video as well somewhere, because we don't know. We're going to look at both. So the Four of Pentacles. So there will be tons, I'm sure, tarot people here, and you will have your way of reading. But what I've learned and what's coming forward to me here is that look how we're gathering those pentacles close to the chest, holding them close to the heart. And pentacles to me are earth. They are the earth sign. So interesting, we just had earth magic talking about the heart. And here this is earth sign. They can also be home, money, finance, safety, security. So holding things really close to the heart. So this feels to me as if the fours can be wondrous and solid and a good base. They can also feel like there's something that's stuck. So when I feel into this healing message for you from your heart, this says that, okay, sometimes you're holding things just too tight, too close to the heart. The heart needs to be able to expand and breathe, and the energy needs to come out and work with you and from you interacting with the world, with other people, with other energies, and the earth itself. So if you're holding things too close, too tight to the vest, as they say, okay, and I think my other video, not enough memory on my phone. Such a good try. All right, we'll continue on here. So when we look at here, okay, let me put this closer now. I'm just dealing with one camera. Hopefully you can see it okay. So healing, if you're holding things that are too close to your chest, too close to your heart center, holding them too close to the vest, as they say, sometimes what you'll find is it will not allow the healing in the way that you need and you want because you're holding on too tight. So what is it that relates to safety, home, family, security, money, earth connections, and relates to healing in this way from your heart center, giving you a message that you may be holding on too tight to? So now we're going to look at a second card. So let me find the second card. We're going to go to the soul coaching. Okay, I'm just going to click this off because it's making me crazy. All right. So close. Things we learn all the time with technology. All right. So this is a soul coaching oracle cards by Denise Lynn. Okay. Yes. So this is continuing the point 3, which is about healing, a heart message about healing for you. So we got the 4 of Pentacles, okay, bringing that earth connection again, but that in the image of mind. So images vary in the tarot. The messages can stay the same, but the images can add a different perspective. So here he's really holding things. Now maybe he's super happy about it, but there's something around that that relates to the healing that needs to have some opening, needs to have some expansion. So let's pull another card on this. Look at this. Look at this. Look, really, you can't make this stuff up. Compassion. Compassion. Look at those hands making a heart. And it says, the vibration of compassion shines through my every cell. So whatever you're thinking you need to heal, or whatever you're sensing, oh, I think there's some healing around that, but I don't know what it is. Send compassion to that area of you. Psychological, emotional, physical. Right? Maybe it's in your history. Maybe it's in your present. Maybe it's in your body. Maybe it's in your brain. Whatever it is that needs healing, whether you're really fully aware of it or you're just getting a sense of it, work with compassion. Bring compassion into every cell. Let it vibrate. So you can see here that if you're holding on to things really, really tight, the vibration of compassion may not be able to do its energy, may not be able to do the work that you really want it to do through your cells, through the healing in your physical. Right? And we've had a lot of earthy energy, so we know that that physical is part of it. Yes, there's the unseen, but it also comes into the physical, our physical, because we're living here in a physical. So compassion, compassion for self. So when you think about healing for you, and this point is about healing for you, from your heart, from the message from your heart, compassion is a hugely valuable component. What does compassion feel like for you? Think of when you feel compassion for somebody else, if you're not sure. Somebody who you know is going through a really tough time, and you get that welling up of compassion to be like, wow, I wish things were better for them. I hope that they get the help they need. I hope they get the support they need. I'm so sorry to hear that they're going through that. Are those the kind of things that resonate with the term compassion for you? If not, let me know. What does compassion feel like for you? And then bring it in to you, through you. Work with your heart. Your heart is saying, I already have this. I know how to do compassion. You as the human are catching up. So let's allow this to come about. Okay? Compassion. So if I think of love and I think of heart energy, this is one of the main things I think about as an action, as a highly valuable act that we can do. And here the affirmation is bringing it in action. The vibration of compassion shines through my every cell. Does it mean that you're immediately going to be cured? Hallelujah! Maybe, hopefully it does. Miracles can happen. Amazing things can happen. But what it also shows is that whatever you are trying to heal, whatever you are desiring to heal in yourself, right? And I've got the shirt on today, follow your dreams, they know the way. Compassion is a part that needs to be present. It is a required prescription for whatever you are healing in your life, whether it's a physical healing or whether it's a healing of something. So maybe with the Four of Pentacles, you're healing something around finance. Maybe you're healing something around home life. You still need to bring in compassion towards yourself, to the situation, to past situations, so that things can heal and shift. And your heart knows. Okay. So that's our third point. Let me remind myself. Oh, about your relationships. About your relationships. So this doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, a love partnership. It doesn't have to be a marriage or boyfriend-girlfriend or girlfriend-girlfriend or boyfriend-boyfriend or non-gender, whatever you want. It doesn't have to be those ones, those intimate. It can be parent-child. It can be adult child with senior parent, any relationships. It could be the totality of relationships. When I'm reading for you immediately, you directly, for you personally, of course, I'll get a different sense of certain things. In this general, we're going to look at what comes up and see what comes up, because that is what the heart as a general entity of energy is telling us we need to know today. So we're going to go, back to the Gateway Oracle cards. So this is the same card. We had the simplifying your life part, which was one of the ways to increase our heart connection. And now we're looking for a message. Your heart knows about relationships for you. What do we need to know? So let's see. Oh, there it is. There it is, sticking right out here. Let's find out. What does it say? Stepping into stillness. So here we have an image of a woman on a crescent moon, but she's very still up in the sky. She's got a serene look on, so does the moon, very relaxed. And it says, "My power is born in the majesty of silence." So this is a message from the heart for you about your relationships. And it's bringing in the essence of silence. So a couple of messages come in. One says that for some people out there, the act of listening will greatly enhance your relationships because you will actually hear what the other person is saying. I'm just reading the book, The Four Agreements. And in one part that I've just read, they were indicating that we need to ask questions so that we don't assume something from somebody else. Right? We don't assume what we think we know or what we think they're going through. So we can ask questions to clarify. And this feels like the silence part that's coming up in this stillness is because if we're listening but thinking, planning our retort, planning our next thing, planning what we're going to say, thinking what we already know they're going to say, are we really listening? And the heart here is saying, sometimes you really need to listen. But it's also in relationships that it's saying, hey, we need to give ourselves the time. You need to give yourself the time with whatever relationships are most important to you right now to be in stillness in that relationship. So it means it doesn't always have to be activity full. It doesn't always have to be scheduled. It can be if that works. But there may be times where just being together, just being heart center to heart center is really valuable, is really important. How does that sit with you? And I'm hearing somebody saying, yeah, but I'm super busy. I've got lots of things to do. Of course. The vast majority of people are, especially in our society. People are busy. They've got a lot of things to do. But this card is saying that sometimes for your health and wellness and for the quality of your relationships, you need to find those moments. of stillness, of quiet. You can still be doing something together, but it can be allowing the heart energy to guide and coming into a certain degree of serenity. So that could be a word you explore. Where am I needing serenity in my relationships? Where am I needing stillness? Not so that things stay stuck, but so that I can just breathe and feel into, what do I really need? How do I get there? What do they really need? What are they going through? Let me find out. Gonna pull another card around relationships. No. Earth magic. There we go. That was me just looking at the different decks, saying which ones do I want to work with, or which one wants to come up for this. So this is about relationships, right? About your relationships from the heart perspective, a message from the heart. So the first one of this point, stepping into stillness. My power is born in the majesty of silence. So sometimes we need to listen. More listening. More heart listening as well. Not just ear listening, but really listening. And then from the Earth Magic deck, we get the fog, we get the veiled. So sometimes in relationships that I can hear people going, oh yeah. And sometimes in relationships, there are foggy patches. There are things we don't understand. There are things happening that we're like, what is going on? Why is that happening? Why do I have to experience that? Why are they behaving this way? But remember that the scenery is there. The foundation is there. What do you need to build on? What do you need to allow the fog to lift away? What do you need to allow the light to come through? So recognize for yourself in any relationship that you have that feels like it's got a foggy patch or there's something veiled. You can't see, you can't figure it out. Give yourself that opportunity, maybe for that stillness, so that you can welcome in, okay, what else is going on here? What are my best steps? What are my best decisions? Hi, heart center, where is the light pointing me? If it's foggy over here, maybe there's a step over here. Or maybe I actually need to sit in the fog with somebody for a while and remind them that, yep, there's trees, there's mountains, there's a beautiful valley, there's a light up here. So when you take that beautiful deep breath that comes with that the heart says, whoa, yeah, compassion. Remember the compassion card? That comes in. Because in a lot of these relationships, there's healing to do. Not only for the other person, not only together, but also you in relationship with that other person. Nothing to do with them, really. You, in reaction, in relationship, in working through things. So remember that compassion. Don't forget that compassion. And then it's also taking me all the way back to increasing our heart connection comes back to that simplifying your life. So if the fog is coming in the relationships because you're making things really complicated, cut out the drama, cut out the complication. What is the most simple version? And then go from there. Maybe it's a step, maybe it's an action, maybe it's a feeling, maybe it's a remembrance, maybe it's gratitude, maybe it's talking, talking. Interesting. Okay, so that's how these cards then start to talk to each other through the messages that the heart is bringing. The last of the 5 points here is what your heart needs you to know. So it's been chatting the whole way through, if you've been hanging out with me and listening to these cards. But what else is it? What does it really need you to know? Not even wants, it needs you to know what your heart needs you to know. So I'm going to the soul coaching oracle cards first. And it's interesting because the tarot deck that I have is sort of whispering in the background saying, there's a lot of really big messages that are there for each individual. So they can't all come through on a general card reading like this. But I encourage you to look at these points for yourself. If you have your own cards, maybe you want to pull cards around each of these points. If you need somebody to walk with you and to guide you and help you connect with your higher self plus your earth version, then give me a call and we'll do that. So here we get embracing. I embrace and love all of my life. What does your heart really need you to know? Embrace life. I embrace and love all of my life, even the tough stuff, even the challenges, even the really difficult things. Find something within it that you can embrace. Not because you don't wish it was better, not because you don't wish it was different, but because there is quality in that love, in that embracing. And here, even in the soul coaching, even in, which is this deck, even in the embracing of this, we bring in that earth energy because we have sunflowers, right? So it's reminding you still of, yes, vibrational, yes, heart energy, but also connected to the earth. Got another card coming for this. So that affirmation on that embracing card is, I embrace and love all of my life. Now you may be saying, hey heart, there's some stuff that like I really wish I didn't have to embrace. I really wish I didn't have to be working through. It understands. It gets there. It's with you. It knows. So then go back through some of these other cards. Simplify something. Okay? So what's really going on? What do I really need? Where can I bring in the compassion? What is being offered to me? Where are the blessings I'm seeing? What am I offering to others, even within this tough situation? The earth magic, right? That fairies. You have support from Spirit Team in whatever way works for you. So from the Native Spirit Oracle cards, we then get Spirit Keeper of the South. So this is the high summer, right? Where things are blossoming and blooming. So we got embracing with the sunflowers, and then we get blossoming, blooming forest, sun, high sun coming through. So you play a big part of allowing the blossoming, the blooming, the, if you like, summertime feeling, that high summer of the heart coming into your life. You allow that or not. You embrace that or not. Even through the tough stuff, even through the horrible stuff, you allow that or not. So when you go back into the healing aspects that we looked at with our Four of Pentacles and the compassion and some of the other cards, check in with yourself. Am I the one stopping the light? Am I the one creating the fog? Yes, there will be circumstances, but check in. Where am I embracing the brightness, the blossoming, the blooming, the growth, the sun? And where am I not? And then what do I need to do? So as this is also the last of the 5 points, I'm getting drawn to do a dragon oracle cards. They don't want to be left out. So this is a dragon oracle card deck by Diana Cooper. And so each of these dragons represents, they can be elements, they can be colors, they can be planets, planetary systems, they can be ascended masters, archangels, lots of stuff. But they represent energy. You can call in the dragons themselves to work with you, a bit like the earth magic. This would be dragon magic. You can bring them in. Sorry, the fairies with the earth magic, dragon marriage. Fairies wanted to be mentioned. Or you can just listen to the words and see what else comes up with it. See how it comes up. Or do both. So we get blue dragon from the Pleiades. Okay, so blue, very sparkly. Prepares you to accept source healing. So remember, these are messages from your heart. So this is saying, hey, your connection with source is part of your healing, is very important. Accept a heart activation. Literally, that's what it says. Accept a heart activation. Give and receive heart healing. So let's just review here, shall we? So we're doing a Your Heart Knows reading, 5 points. Here we're in what your heart really wants you to know. And it's bringing forward a card that says, there is source healing available to you. You can accept heart activation whenever you want, meaning you can connect with the heart. Get to know it, play with it, explore it, dance with it. What is the vibration? What is the energy? And then you can give yourself, receive, and give to others heart healing. How? How? Welcome in some of this energy. Welcome in some of the compassion. Welcome in some of the stillness, the simplicity. See what you really need and let the heart show you the way. There we go. From my heart to yours. I hope that this has given you some reflection points, some insights. Maybe there's some things shifting and adjusting. Allow that. Go have a snack. Go have some water as we've been on here for a little while. If you need help, if you would like me to go through one of these readings or a general reading for yourself, please get in touch. It would be my honor and my privilege. I love doing this work and seeing how the cards resonate with the messages that you most need in the moment. So this time we were working with the heart, and the heart's always part of every reading. This time it wanted to be front and center. Really important for everybody, especially I think at this time in our world. So you can find out information on my various BlueWaterOracle.com, BlueWater Oracle on Facebook, or you can just send me a message at bluewater100@gmail.com, and it would be my honor to work with you. But other than that, I hope this reading has brought you some insight, some value, and has connected you a little more deeply with your own heart. Until next time, Sheila signing off. Have a wonderful day. Take care of that heart. It's really important. Ciao.